Yes. The boys are the biggest. This is one of the boys.
Okay, what state are you in right now?
New Mexico.
Trying to figure out my flight times.
Hey, you want a puppy? I'll give you one. I sell them for 1,000, but I'll give you one for free. You want one? They're
Gee.
papered. They're papered.
Hey, Joanne, come here for a minute.
Making
Stay
a deal
right-
right now.
You stay right there for a second. Don't go there. Hang on.
Healthy puppy. Got everybody coming
Hold on,
in.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. She'll be right here. Come here. Come here.
Yeah,
Quick.
no,
I want one.
Quick.
they're not screaming yet, so
Look
that's
at that.
okay. They usually scream.
He said I can come out there and get charged.
Look at him. Is that a German Shepherd?
Yeah, they're all shepherds. Daddy's to his left over
Oh
there.
my gosh, he's all black. I don't see any brown on him.
Yeah.
Is it pretty? Is it pretty? Can you see her? Oh, you can't see. The mom
So
and
how
dad-
many do you have?
9.
We have 9, and there's 2 boys and 7 girls. Sheba, sit pretty.
Oh my
pretty.
God.
Oh,
Look at him.
He is beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Where
yeah.
are you?
I'm in New
He's
Mexico.
Mexico.
Oh,
You guys are like on the
I
active
don't
dog
know if
buying
you'll see this or
mode.
not because of the.
road trip.
Can
Yeah.
you see that at all or no?
It looks like a bunch of. Oh yeah, that's puppies. I can't see it though.
Yeah, they're all blurry. But yeah, it was thanks, babe. It was interesting. I just don't know if we can, it's it's too, I don't know. Just don't know.
It's a trip, and these guys aren't going to be ready for about 6 weeks.
And it's not the trip, it's the just getting over from November 13th of dealing with my 11-year-old for a decade. So
Right, exactly.
don't know if I'm ready to do that or not.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful. They are beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. They're just loud sometimes. But I figured if you could see how cute they were, you would see why I put up with them.
Yeah, no, understood.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
All right, Mom, I'm gonna put it back before Mama. Mama just fed them, otherwise they'd be going crazy. Okay, come on.
Hey, Jess.
Like your hat.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I couldn't find one.
I got one, America.
Yeah, nice.
I just spent $500 on fireworks.
Oh boy, bet you did.
I can't wait to blow stuff up. It's gonna be fun. Hey, you got your little man there.
Yeah.
Go to bed. Yep. Got your little guy there. Is he ready for New Year's?
You ready? Yep.
Right now, my thing here. Well, guys, welcome everybody. See how this is going to be interesting. We'll see. They're excited. They're happy about the new year. Let's see. We got Evan on, first timer, long time listener, first time caller. What's up, dude? Serious. I'm trying to figure out how to unmute. There you go. It looks like it's unmuted.
I don't
Can you
think
hear
you
me?
can hear.
Oh, he's still figuring it out. Okay, so we'll move on. So Hillary, we got Lisa on too. How's it going, Lisa and Tommy? You guys, we're just having a great
Hey guys.
how you doing?
Good. How are you? I didn't think I was gonna make it. I'm getting pre-op for hip surgery. So
Well,
oh no, it's a good thing. Trust me.
yeah, say a prayer for you, everything goes well.
Thank you.
No blood clots and all the other things that they say. I had some situations with that with my ex-wife, and I was taking care of newborn twins for a couple weeks while she stayed in the hospital.
Oh, fun
Yeah,
times.
yeah. I got really good at taking care of babies.
I bet you did.
Yeah. Well, yeah, good luck with that, and blessings,
Thank you.
and thanks for coming. You got big plans for, I mean, I guess you'll have a new hip. That's a pretty good
Yeah, right?
pretty good start to the new year.
Yes.
Nice. You got somebody helping you with your serves?
Not at the moment. I was just discussing that actually with Diana.
Yeah, you gotta get that on tap, right? Where you could just say, "Hey, can you handle my serves for a little bit?" You know, I'll pay you.
Yeah,
Give me a little break so I still make something. You know, type of
right,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Got some chat. Let's see, we got some new folks in. So if you guys are new and you're trying to network and get to know everyone, just know there's a lot of regulars that come in here. You can actually put your information in the chat. Nobody's going to tell you not to spam the group. Like, feel free. Like, tell us who you are, where you're from, all this kind of stuff. That's the whole point of a mastermind. It actually will get to be a point where you feel like you don't want to share because you feel like everyone already knows you. Do it anyway. Put in the chat who you are, where you're from, and what you do. This is a process server community, but we have people who specialize in PI stuff. They specialize in out of state deposition subpoenas. They specialize in, whatever it is. So if we know that you specialize in that for a specific state, we're twice as likely to reach out to you or recommend you inside the group. So I see Evan says he can't hear anything. Yeah, it's going to be probably your computer settings. Um, I don't know if there's a Zoom set. There might be a Zoom setting for you to choose a specific audio device. What's up, Tommy? What's up? How's it going, man?
I can
Yeah.
I can hear you now, boss.
Oh, great, Evan, great, great. Welcome. I see Tommy. Actually, his audio and video is not working, I guess, or not activated yet. How's it going, Evan? Welcome to your first mastermind meeting.
Yeah, appreciate it, boss.
Yeah, good to have you, man. I know you're crushing it. Let me check. Let's do it. So moving forward this year, kind of an announcement. I did put it in the text, but not everyone reads them.
You did. You did.
Okay. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. But real quick, tell us how it's been for you so far in the community, Evan.
It's I had the issues with the website and everything, so that was a big setback, and I was doing pretty well, but I was ready to just quit, honestly, but nobody here would let me, so I just I just kept pressing forward. So like I said, I've got that big legal conference next month, and I'm not used to calling people. I'm used to just going in and like handing a brochure, but I started calling people with your script and stuff. So we're moving uphill now. We're moving in the right direction. So I
Right.
feel a lot better than I did maybe 30 days ago, because that was a big setback. But I just got a couple of calls this morning for some papers. So
Okay. Well, one thing I will tell you, I'll tell everybody is that there's a law and I've talked about it a lot, but it's called the law of the harvest. You know, the law of the harvest is that you make hay while the sun shines. You're not getting phone calls right now. You're not getting, I mean, you are, which is great, right? But if you're not getting phone calls and things aren't necessarily like just pouring over, like, yeah, it's like we want to be able to make a phone call, talk to someone, and immediately get a job. Like if that was the case, we'd probably all be calling all the time, right? Because you have that immediate reinforcement of the action that you're taking that is the right thing to do. But I just encourage you that the law of the harvest, it is actually that way, that making the call turns into a job. Maybe not every single time, but treat it like it does, because the law of the harvest will come where there's a lot of attorneys. There's probably 70%, some high number. I don't know what it is, but it's a high number of people, of attorneys who practice law. They help people with LLCs. They do, maybe a probate case here and there. It's rare that they need a process server, but when they do, they don't have one. So they have to Google them, right? They have to try to find them. And if you are the person that's the backup, because you've reached out to every attorney in every market, right? In every area around you, when they do finally need a process server, there's not going to be a question. You're the one who's been in their email inbox. You're the one who's been calling and checking up on them and seeing how they're doing. And I only know this from experience, not from calling, because I didn't do that back then. I just went into the offices like you're saying, but I
yeah,
got, but
that's
I
what I
got 'em.
did with the PI business. But that was like almost 10 years ago. So things have evolved a lot since, And basically, if you called somebody, they were like, "Ah, I'm busy," or whatever.
Yeah,
So
because it's like a sales call, right? Because they're right away, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, we don't do that, or we rarely have people served, whatever it is. But if you just right away assume the best in them, like the script says, then it's like a no-brainer, you know. And
yeah,
you
the
can
your one key point about saying, "Look, I know you already probably have a processor, but I was just wondering if I could send you my rate sheet just in case," that takes the pressure off, and
absolutely,
that
yeah.
makes a
You're
big difference.
disarming them. In real estate, there's like I won't go into it too far, but just to let you know that it's based on a psychological principle of removing pillars. There's something called neurolinguistic programming. I could go real deep on it. I have with marketing, right? About like people are going to think certain things that are going to remove them or get them remove them from wanting to buy from you, or also feel like they're not worthy or they don't qualify or whatever the situation is that makes them say no to your offer. In this case, we're being very ninja about it and just it's very basic. What we offer is like a plumber. When you need us, we want to be there for you. Period. Because you can't offer much more than that as a process server, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, imagine some industries do this. Imagine if instead you said, "Hey, when you need a processor, no, you need a process server. Listen, I'm going to help you file a new case on your neighbor or somebody. We're going to figure it out, and you're going to hire me." That's just not the business we're in. Plumbers aren't saying, hey, let me break your pipes or come and check out your pipes so I can fix them. And if they are, they don't stay in business for very long. So
Yeah, I'm not.
understand.
I'm not a used car salesman.
Exactly, exactly. So once you understand that, it really should take the pressure off and be like, listen, I just got to make the calls, get the emails sent out so that I'm in everybody's inbox, and then follow up with them. And I teach you guys to use the tool Pipedrive because Pipedrive is it's so easy to follow up and make notes about people and make it happen. So once you have your stuff set up, your marketing stuff set up, and you're calling, when they go to look at your rate sheet and they go to click on your link to maybe order from you, they get to see that you're a professional business and they're more likely to hire you than
Yes,
just
sir.
some other Joe. So, but let me share my screen. Actually, really quick before I get to that, I want to recognize Hillary as she turned her camera up. I want to recognize this is your first time on today, Hillary.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've been on a couple times. It's just been a long time. It's been a while.
Okay. Well, welcome to. Oh yes. Oh yeah. You're what's her name's friend? She brought you in, right? A better process.
Me.
What's that?
You one of the friends in the community brought you in, right? Invited you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I think was it Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, it's good to see you again. Now that you mention it, yeah, I remember. Yeah. How you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You got big plans for the new year?
Not really. No.
Hey, listen, you know what? As long as you're safe, happy, and healthy, I think that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, coming up with some plans about like, income goals is always good. Not everybody's driven by income. My son just moved here with me and we are talking about plans and goals and stuff. And sometimes you're not income driven. You're more like, hey, I want to just live a good life and have the simple pleasantries too. So but it's good to see you. Hope to see you more this year. We're going to meet every week or twice a week, but Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I've kind of committed already that we are going to do 40 of these, and I'm going to be very intentional about these 40 masterminds that we're going to do, and then that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. We can do some meetups once a month or whatever just for you guys when you want to. We'll talk about it and we'll spring them up. We'll put a date on the calendar. We'll do them. So my goal is in this next 20 weeks, basically, it's 40 meetings in 20 weeks that I will be able to impact each of you guys who are showing up. Whether it's me literally just, I call it banging the phones, calling your market, proving to you that it's possible, telling you, hey, if you don't do it, I'm opening up a new company in your backyard and I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to give you all the customers. If you don't do it, I'm going to prove it to you, you know? I think that's half the battle sometimes because people get like in their own head. I'm not worthy to make more. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. And I don't think I've ever fully been this way, but I've heard it said that people will say to themselves, I'm not worthy to make 20 grand a month. I'm not worthy to make 50 grand a month. Like I'm not, and you may never say it, but you might feel it. And I don't think I've ever been that way. Like I was a kid and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be rich. You know, my whole life I've always said that. And people hate it. Some people hate that. They hate when you talk like that. They're like, you know, what makes you worthy of that? What makes you think you could do that? My dad worked so hard his whole life and he could never do it. What makes you better than him? It's a great question. Nothing makes me better than him. It's just action, making a plan, taking action, being consistent, and never giving up. That's it. And we can all make it. What's up, Tommy? How you doing? Tommy looks like he's in Colorado or Yellowstone.
It,
Oh, I heard you for a second. Where did you go?
it says his audio is off.
Oh, yeah, it does. You're right. Oh, I muted you again. There we go.
How about now?
There you go. What is that
Can you
picture?
hear me now?
That is so cool. That looks like Yellowstone or something.
Yeah, that was Colorado. So yeah, we were at Rocky Mountain, and then we went to Pikes Peak. So that was.
Oh, it was
I don't know which one.
I was right the first time. How you been?
We're doing good. Doing good. I'm just plugging along and staying busy. I got even with everything that's been going on in our lives personally. I mean, we've still been pretty busy, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, staying busy is real big during the times like that, you know, that you're going through. I know just serving others and doing your best to keep your head up, you know, and when you got family too, that's helpful, you know, when you got more family.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are your plans for the new year? What you got? What you got cooking?
Well, I'm trying to continue to keep pushing, doing the marketing. I know Jessica and others in the community have been kind of helping me and pushing me to get more marketing going. And I made some connections. I got a second call from an attorney that I connected with in the city, and he reached out to me his second time. So that's a step in the right direction. Yeah, so
That's great.
following your plan and going from there. I haven't made very many phone calls, but yeah, I've done everything else.
Yeah, and you just think I just want you to imagine that when you're making your calls and you're sending out those emails and maybe sending some letters to some people who are like your ideal customer that's sending out a serve a day and you already know they're using somebody else. Like maybe we're gonna talk about some of that this year. But I just want you to imagine the person you talk to, the people that you talk to, I want you to imagine after you hang up with them, they're going to go off and they have a list of 10, 20, 100 things they got to do to prepare for this case that actually doesn't have to be served in person. It has to be served by mail. And then they have this other case they're working on, and they're just working and working and working and working and working. And when the time's going to come where it's a restraining order, it's an eviction, it's a something that has to have a process server, are they going to think of you? After that first phone call, did you send an email that was memorable or was the phone call memorable? Did you send an email that was memorable? Is there a rate sheet or something in the email? Did you put in there the word process server? Did you put in there all the counties that in your local area? I always used to put that in the signature line in my signature, you know, serving Butte, Tehama, Sutter, Yuba, blah, blah, blah. And I would just list them out, all the counties in my signature line. And I taught that at some point in one of the trainings that you want that in your signature line and then hyperlink that whole thing to come back to your order form or even to your website. But then when they do find that email, just know how valuable that email is and how paralegals most of the time will go to their email and go, if they've ever hired a server before, they'll go to their email and they'll search process server. Do you show up? in their email because you sent them an email already. And I can't emphasize enough that 70% of attorneys who rarely hire a process server are the ones that you're really going after. That's the ones, the long term, where you get one job a month from this person and there's 1,000 of that person. That is a business, a strong business, because you've essentially dominated the market. Even people who don't send out serves on a regular basis use you, so they're going to recommend you to other people. And then yeah, and then when it comes to attorneys, man, that's the goal. Attorneys, property managers, um, and ultimately just building relationships. You know, I wouldn't be afraid if it was somebody you thought you could be friends with. I wouldn't be afraid to invite them to dinner if it was an attorney. Paralegals,
Yeah.
that can be sketchy, especially I don't know, that's up to you. But paralegals, if you can see a friendship out of it, fine. You know. There's one male paralegal that at this one law office that was one of the main law offices. He's like 6'4" and he was very brash and stuff. And one time I was like, "Hey man, you ever go hunting?" He's like, "Yep, every month." You know, he's kind of crazy. And we never ended up going, but just asking him about it kind of opened him up. And he was like, he served most of the papers for their office, like in office in California, they could do that. And he started sending me jobs because he would rather send it to me than go serve it himself. So he's like, "Hey, you mind handling this one?" And I know if my price was too high, he would just go serve it himself. So I'd be like, I could handle that one for you, $50 right down the street, no problem. He'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna email it to you." You know, that's a relationship. Like I would have never gotten those serves without that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
So you got
hey,
any?
Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, to speak more on what you're talking about, that one law firm I was talking about that they charter the boat and I go out with them sometimes in the
Oh
spring.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's 4 attorneys and it's 4 paralegals and 12 attorneys that I do work for.
Yeah.
I only do work for about 6 of the attorneys because the other ones don't really need a server. But I invited the law office to a bowling party, and so we're doing that just before I go to South America in about 10 days. So yeah, I told them I rented out, I reserved a couple lanes in the bowling alley, and $200 for all we can bowl, and they're gonna bring some beer and stuff. So that $200 is gonna go a long way in 2025. I can tell you that.
Can I tell you a way to spend another $200?
What's that?
Or even ask a realtor. Be like, "Who do you know that's a drone pilot that can take some video footage for me?" That experience that you're doing, of course, focus on the those personal relationships, but having a guy come that has a drone who can actually, it sounds like overkill, but I promise it's not. Because what happens is you can have he'll come in and do a video of you guys bowling and get little clips and stuff. And what you do is you tell the people, I don't know, you can justify however you want, but I could totally see you guys bowling, having a great time, him getting some great video footage of these attorneys, local attorneys with you or whatever, having a great time. And then when you guys go outside, be like, "Hey, do you mind if we just get a picture?" Like literally the whole time you're just having fun. They may see this guy on the side a couple times. He's going to try to get some pictures or whatever to help with marketing and stuff like that. And at the end, we're going to do a photo. And after that, you don't have to mention it ever again. So it's not weird. And then at the end, you have a drone pilot or he takes a photo or like a moving video in front of the bowling alley or whatever, however you want to do it. And of everybody having a good time after you're all kind of tipsy or whatever. And you're out front, having a great time with a bunch of smiles. And then he'll have a drone like fly up. Ooh, and they'll probably get that for like $200, man. Jeff's got one.
Yep.
Yeah, and with that kind of footage, you can clip it, change it. He'll send you all the raw photos probably. And then if you really make it a great experience for them, in real estate, there's guys that do this with attorneys, also with attorneys, divorce attorneys, and they just hold these big events for divorce attorneys. And the idea is that build relationships, and so they'll go one after another after another. They'll do a happy hour, and they'll just talk to all of them and get to know all of them. better in person, and they'll always have a photographer or a videographer going around taking pictures. And it also adds this element of stardom, which is kind of silly it feels silly as a process server, but it's still there because you're a person and they're people and you're in this thing. And then when you put it on social media, nobody else is doing this. So congratulations for getting that thing dialed in and started. That's like such a huge accomplishment just to even like schedule it. I mean, and then to get people to show up, I mean, the more the merrier too. If you can invite more people, even just for like a happy hour after the bowling thing, you know, that could work too.
Yeah, the drone thing, that's a good idea, man.
Yeah, real estate is very common for them to show up and spend about an hour for about $250. So I wouldn't spend more than that, but that'd probably be what I say. We got Tommy here. Follow up on Mighty Process Server listings. Still need to fix the spelling on surveillance. I thought I fixed that as soon as you told me about it. How do you spell it here? Surveillance. Okay. I'll make a note of that. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, I noticed last night we've been making huge changes to the format of the pages and stuff for SEO because I've been diving deep back into SEO. Back in the day, I did a whole thing. It was a $5,000 mastermind to learn SEO from a few different people who do it and who do it for a living. But it was quite a while ago. And so I've been diving back into it for the directory. And there's some links that weren't exactly right. So all of the listings changed. I put a post about it. But so instead of it being like, directory listing 40521, it'll say, Mighty Process Server, directory listing WA Pro Se, for example. So all the links are fixed. So if you have it on your website, you're going to want to switch it up.
I think I tried to edit mine, but it's still not working. Maybe it's just on my end or
It could be on your the only thing if it was on your end, the only thing it would be is if your browser has it saved in cookies, and you could do an incognito window to kind of get around that. Um some of the states are not in alphabetical order. Great. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I really want while we're early on to know about some of this stuff. If you see anything, let me know. I gave the ladies a week off, and so I was doing all the work here the last few days. They're like, I thought we were coming back on the 1st. So surveillance is on your listing specifically, and the states are not in alphabetical order. We also have Washington D.C. as its own state, which is
Yeah, Mike, the
interesting.
surveillance is across the site, so every listing, I guess it's on that drop down of services when you go to select. You know what I
It's
mean?
on the order form. It's on the quote request.
Yes.
Okay. But thank you for that. Yeah. Probably it was probably my fault. I misspell things. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Catching up with everybody here. Anybody got anybody started drinking already? Looks like Jeff has.
I did have something earlier, so yes, about 11 o'clock Eastern time.
Jessica, you had something? Got her hand raised. This is official. Go, Jess. Jessica, your camera turned off. You had your hand up? Oh, I see. Nice.
Lemonade.
Lemonade. Okay. What's up, man? You gonna be serving some papers?
No.
No.
Oh.
Good stuff. All right. What else we got? Anybody else? Let's see. Tracy, what's up, Tracy? Welcome. How you doing? Double dip. Aaron, are
And
gonna be.
Mike had a question about the link back
Yeah.
on the listing. You said it was going to be like right now when I go to our page on the Mighty Process Server link, it just says has a dash for members dash listing page 13. Is that correct? Is that how it's supposed to say?
Members not selection. No, it should say your name now. That's why I was saying we want to update it on your website just in case you have the backlink on your website. So let's take a look really quick. So if you go directory, and then let's see, you're in Colorado.
Oklahoma.
Oh, it's just Colorado behind you. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you
that
are in
was
Oklahoma. That's
a
right.
trip.
You were saying something about that too. Okay, so Oklahoma, and there you are, Sutherland. So all these links were broken before too. We got all those fixed, so that's good. So yeah, that's confusing. I think the ladies might have switched it back. I like that it's working, but let me see. Let me see if they switched it back on me. I got onto if they did, it's my fault because I got onto them and said all the links are broken. Uh let's see. Yeah, they switched them back on me. Okay, well, I guess if it's working, leave it. I'll let you know if I update it again. I did update it. I'm kind of baffled that it's numbers again. Anyways, I'm gonna have to fix it, so I'll let you guys know. Probably individually. There's not too many people, so I'll let everybody know when I do um, update it.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you for confirming that. I thought I actually myself fixed it all, did it, and now it's back to the way it was because I got onto them. So I think they might have went through and put it back to numbers, and it's the way it is when you work with VAs. But actually, that's it's one of the things we're going to be working on. One of the first big teachings. That's kind of another announcement. I'm going to show that actually. Um, private nodes is partially due to my conditions. Oh yeah, good. Just got some cool stuff in there to check out. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen and I want to get into some fun stuff and some, and feel free to chime in, guys. This is a mastermind. I just wanted to let you know what I got going on. Okay. For the community and stuff. But I do want to hear from you guys as well. So inside the community, just really quick while I'm thinking about it, is here in January. Excuse me. Here in January on the 21st, we are going to start for a few weeks. We're going to start the I'm calling it the VA hunting. And so it's still the mastermind. We're still going to meet. We're still going to chat about whatever questions you have throughout the week. We're still going to do the engagement award, which I'm going to get to here in a second. But we're going to dive. I want to hire 2 more VAs at least for my company. And so I figured instead of just doing it privately, why not do it live with you guys in Zoom? Because one of the ways that I meet with people, or one of the ways that I interview and hire these folks, is I end up meeting them. Probably the third step, maybe the third week we'll meet, is me interviewing them live on Zoom. And I do them one at a time, and you'll get to hear them. And it's probably going to be a 2-hour Zoom. Okay. So you don't have to be there the whole time, but you can kind of get an idea of how I do this, where I'll interview like 80 people and I'll end up with 1 or 2 out of the 80. And they'll have the best language, they'll have the best English. They'll be $2 an hour, maybe up to $4 an hour. But I like to start low because I could give them raises and they make them feel good about where they are, that they're going to have a future with me, right? And you get some really high quality people by doing it that way. Evan, you had something?
Just to clarify, because when I see VA, I think Veterans Affairs. What is a VA again?
Oh yeah. Virtual assistant. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if I could put virtual assistant here. Let me see.
No, I mean, I probably everybody else knew that except me. I'm a military guy, so I see the VA and I'm like, what? The VA hires process?
Yeah. No. Mad respect, man, for the veterans and stuff. So we'll and my brother-in-law, he works for the VA. And so depending on the context, I could see other people doing this. And a lot of process servers are retired military people, so I'll just change it. So you can see we're going to do it for at least 4 weeks. I'm going to make it a full training. And by the end of it, I'm going to have just the best of the best. And what I might end up doing is just giving you guys the best of the best, or giving you the option. And I'm going to show you the software I use. I use Slack, but I'm going to go through it like in detail with you guys on how I manage them, how I make sure that they're working when they're supposed to be working, how I set expectations so that I'm not stressed out all the time trying to manage them. Right? It's really easy for me to manage them. As a matter of fact, right now there was some confusion. It's like the first confusing time we had, but they thought they were off. I gave them a couple weeks off. I gave them a Christmas week off, and they thought I said New Year's Day, and so there was some confusion there. And I'm like, guys, get it right, you know. But I treat them really good. I give them a full week paid vacation, and full pay and everything. So that's what you want to do. You want to treat them right. Want to treat them right. So you guys have questions about the virtual assistants? I could talk to you about that, but we're gonna do some training on it. Just like 15 minutes for most of these meetings. I'll spend 15 minutes teaching you about it, showing you, updating you where I'm at with it, and then we'll go into the regular mastermind and talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I can tell you my life changed. I invested in software and I was getting a good amount per month from my e-filing software. And I started hiring these folks to handle all my serves. And so I get a new serve. I don't call anyone. I don't do anything with it. There's scripts for it. I gave you guys the scripts here in the mighty playbook here, VA script for attorneys, like what they have to say, what they're supposed to say when they want to hire a new process server. This is, some of you have probably gotten these calls from them where they call and ask you how much you charge, what's your area, how many attempts you do, all this stuff. So I'm going to teach you that, and I give the people I'm interviewing these scripts, and I have the conversation with them as if I'm in this case, I'd be the attorney, right? I'm the attorney they're calling, and they have to read through the script. They get time to practice it ahead of time, and then process service. So when I talk to them, I'm really just listening. Like, do I buy it? Do they really work for this legal services company, and they're trying to hire me? If I don't buy it because I'm like, yeah, you sound like you just crawled out of a Vietnamese hut, you know, or something. Like, it sounds terrible. I know it sounds terrible, but it's true. As Americans, when we hear an accent, we immediately go to like, are you a scammer? Like who's calling me right now? You know what I mean? Like
They
it
could be a
sounds
corporate spy.
yeah, they could be a corporate spy, but also like you just don't want to waste your time. Like we're all about trying to save our time, right? And if we think somebody's got an accident, we're like, is this going to lead somewhere, or are you just wasting my time? You know. So with that being said, let's move to the portion where I give you guys some of my money. So what we're gonna do, I think having a weekly, I know it's not as much money, but a weekly, and maybe once the community grows to a point that it can pay for more things, I'll increase the amount of money per month I send out. But
Come on, you mean? Oh, sorry.
let's see. Let's see. What do we got here? Jessica having a good old time. So yeah, going into this, as you can see, Mr. Evan and Jessica and Jeff kind of took off. I mean, Tommy's pretty close, but as far as engagement goes, they took off. And I did not announce I was going to do the weekly thing before, but I'm going to do it because I want to get it started right away. So moving into the new year, every week I'm going to send out, I think I said 20, but I'm going to do $25 cash app to whoever is the top of the leaderboard. And if you're a website customer or a directory customer, I'm not going to apply it to anything. Okay, I know it's easy for you to not have to budget for it, but Cash App can be something you spend on coffee. You can buy your wife some flowers. Okay, so Cash App, I'm gonna Cash App you or Venmo you. Okay, some cash. Evan Murphy, you win $25 this
Thank you,
week.
sir.
Good job, man.
Congratulations.
Yay! Mighty action.
Awesome.
Yeah, mighty action.
Jessica sent me subtle hints to be here today.
Oh
She
yeah,
Yeah, we're glad you made it.
kept saying, "Can't wait for the mighty mastermind on New Year's," but wouldn't say anything else. And I'm like, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. Well, you won't regret it because, we'll spend maybe an hour, maybe sometimes more, and people will pop in, people will pop out. If you show up late, nobody cares. Like, we're all just hanging out and we're growing our businesses. So, I myself am in a different phase where I'm kind of like, I am growing my business, but for me to really grow is like for me to get big Chase contracts or Wells Fargo contracts or something like that. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for me. So, but everyone's at a different place, and I want to help you guys. If you're at a place where you're just getting started or I mean, there's some people that join this community that are like brand spanking new. And if that's you, you're in the right place because there's so many people here willing to help. Evan, you got something?
Yes, sir. Apparently I was way behind the loop on this, but a large portion of the business that I was getting was my listings with ServeNow.
Hmm.
And apparently they have been out of the picture for a while.
Yeah,
And
I mean, they're still online. I mean, they still have a directory that ranks kinda. It's like third or fourth on the Google
well,
search.
I wouldn't I wouldn't pay for it or anything because I've been sending them messages and whatnot, and no response anymore. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know. I went
there's
on
no.
a process server group on Facebook and said, hey, I guess ServeNow is out of the picture, and um, uh, the I had to delete the post because the comments that I got were not professional.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like,
There's
yeah,
some
that
groups.
happened like 4 years ago, but I was getting like
Yeah,
a lot of business from ServeNow, a lot,
yeah.
and
And that's what I'm creating. That's what Mighty Pro. I knew. I'm not going to say his name, but he's somebody who still comments for them. And he told me, Mike, if you got a couple million, you could probably buy it. He said, there's nobody steering the ship. It's done. He said, it still makes good money. People still paying their directory fees.
yeah,
But
I
he's
need to
like,
get into Naps, but I I gotta have 2 references and blah 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 and all that. And I just haven't done it yet because I was doing so well with ServeNow. I just never really thought to venture over, but
I
uh,
highly recommend NAPS because it's the association that's going to protect the industry, and they have a long standing relationship with attorneys, different attorney associations that use it almost exclusively as a part of certain contracts. So some people will sign up for it, they won't get any business, and they'll be upset about it. Like, so when you sign up for it, do it because for NAPS, do it because you want to support an association that's going to keep your industry alive. I know it's a cop out, especially when you're brand new. It feels like a cop out because you're like, yeah, but I need business, But if you need new business and you need networking, you get that here. You get that with Mighty Process Server. You get that with the people in this community. Naps is going to give you a little bit of that, but I just don't want to confuse some people because some people will sign up and they'll get nothing, or everything they get from Naps will be quote requests, and they'll be upset because they'll never get the job. I'm like, well, listen, if you're in a very competitive market, you may not get the work because some people will reply with a quote of $50 and you're like 97, you're nowhere close to what the market's charging, and you don't even want to work for affiliates in the first place. I don't know what other people have experienced, but I definitely support naps. I just know that. So I'll give you a little more backstory too, Evan. I was called as the social media marketing chairperson for NAPS for 2 weeks. And about the second week, they got my good friend Mike Kern called me up and he said, "Hey, they're having a special meeting to remove you as the marketing chair." And I was like, "Why? What happened? I don't even know these people. Like, I was new. My company blew up, so they wanted me to. They're like, you're perfect for this. And I was like, I don't even, what do you mean? And he's like, well, they said that you're connected to Serve Now. Serve Manager's your sponsor, and they don't want nothing to do with that because the directory is a direct competitor to them. And I was like, what does that matter? That it's a private company. And so there's just some drama that happened, and then I was telling them they needed to have a Facebook group. They needed to have I was like, you need to have a Facebook group at your conferences. You need to have record people and ask them like why they chose naps. Like, this is some, and so I did this for them at the conference. They never released it. They didn't want to release it because they said that it was too much noise in the background. It was gold for naps. I got everybody saying, "Oh, this is why I joined. I've been in for 40 years, whatever." It's such a great video. And so they wanted to remove me because I was doing too much like change. They didn't want to have so much change so fast. And turns out they hired someone, Linda, who I love. Linda's awesome. She does the paralegal cruises in Florida. They hired her as an employee to do the marketing, and she did exactly all the things I told them they should do. And so, so it's an old organization. It has really old people leading it. And so I'm highly excited about naps for the future because yeah, Jacob was in the community during all that. Like it was exciting. I joined naps and then all of a sudden it was like this drama and I was just like, whatever. I was working for free for you. Like, yeah, whatever. So I'm excited for naps for the future because as people die in there or retire or whatever happens to them, they drop out of the industry and stop the association. It's going to need new blood. So I highly recommend people become members so they can get involved and know who is who and showing up to the conferences because eventually that it'll either fizzle out and die, which I don't think it will because it has so much money. It's been in the industry for so long and it's been investing in the stock market and it's got lots of money, which we need if it's going to support support our industry. It will come to the aid of any state that is battling laws that are going to kill process serving in that state.
Yeah, from what I read, they're very big on legislation and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, CalsPro too. That's where the same guys who founded CalsPro later founded NAPS. They're like, well, we have a great state association. We should probably have a national one. So they created NAPS. So yeah, I would definitely join when you can afford it. I've had people message me. She's not on here. you know, People message me, what can I do to grow? What can I do to, make my business, da, 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 and they don't show up to these meetings, and I'm like, I'm not offended by it. I'm just like, hey, are you trying to grow or not? Like, show up. And so there's one gal who messaged me and she's like, I'm going to spend my last 200 on naps. No, no, you
no,
may not get any business from it. Like,
that's why I got your starter website,
yeah.
and I posted something on the Serve Now Facebook group, and some people said, "Hey, your website looks amazing, but you need to change some things because I thought you were in because it's Midland's Process Service. They said I thought you were in Midland, Texas,
Mm,
and I had to scroll all the way down to figure out where you were. So I went in and made some changes, and and even as the starter site, people were like, "Your website looks better than mine," and I'm like, wait till I get
yeah.
the finished product." But that was very helpful. They gave me some good feedback, so I didn't even think about that. So I listed it at the very top, like I made some changes, and
Yeah.
um, it's going back to the meta tags and all that,
Mm.
making sure that you're putting those words on the website,
Yeah, you want Google to see it and index it properly, right? Like Kern's a really good example of that. Mike Kern down in LA, he owns Direct Legal and he just moved to Texas actually. Well, his dad owned the company, and since their last name was Kern, Kern, and they lived in Los Angeles, they were Kern Legal. But everybody thought they were based out of Kern County, which is in Bakersfield, which is about 4 hours north of LA. And so when he took over, he changed it to Direct Legal and spent like $10,000 on a domain because, he was like, I got to get away from Kern, even though that was his last name. Right. And now Direct Legal is worth way more money because it's not a person's name. It's it's a brand. And so that's what you want to do. You want to build a brand on your
Speaking of
website.
which, I need to get you to make a new logo for me because when they were saying this, like, I'm like, well, the logo clearly states, it has the South Carolina state seal on it, but that logo is not, it can't be like set to different, it's just, I made it myself in like 5 minutes just to have one. But when I saw you make one for like $50 or something.
Yeah, Desi will make you one that's like really good. Yeah, we weren't sure in the beginning. We used to just send people to Fiverr. You can just go to Fiverr.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. They're the ones who did, well, you pointed me to them for the rate sheet.
Yeah,
And
or
that blew my
Jessica.
mind. I got an amazing rate sheet. So I mean, I could take it there.
There's
I don't know if
something.
you have a link and you could benefit from it, but if you have a 5R link, at least we can both benefit from it. But
There you go. There's one logo I've seen so many times, and people send it to me like it's their original logo. And I'm guilty of this too, like taking an image, thinking it makes sense, close enough, nobody's gonna know. It looks like this one right here, these scales right here, but it has the legs and arms, and the arms are the scales, and it has has a legal document in the scale, instead of scales. And people will find it on Google. I don't know why it's not showing up for me right now, but
I've been straying away from those because I'm too worried about the copyright stuff.
yeah.
And so just copying and pasting an image off of
Mhm.
a Google search, and they're not very professional anyway. And the ones that are definitely copyrighted. So
Yeah.
uh, I want to stray away from that. And Jessica sent me some stuff about uh, images and stuff to make your website feel more local and personal. And so I definitely want to do that too. But
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, she's really a good example of taking what I taught and then taking all the other marketing things that you can Google or YouTube. Really, I feel like, and putting it into one place. And so if you look at her rate sheet, how it's detailed, but it's also got, some eye-catching stuff. It's pretty. Like having a rate sheet that you can email people that is actually a rate sheet, but also something that they could print out or just save on their computer to know how much you charge for different areas is super powerful. And the fact that you're doing what you said you were going to do. I mean, there was a time where the rate sheet, where that came from was in California, we had a rate sheet that we'd send to other process servers with the zip code because the software we all use, TriStar, is still around, but it's old, right? It had the zip code for the server. And so you would take all the servers that would send you rate sheets, you'd put their name, number, whatever, and the zip code, how much they charge next to the zip code. So they'd send you a rate sheet with all these counties, and then they'd have the zip codes, and then it'd have the fee for the zip codes. And it might be only a $2 or $3 or $5 difference per different zip code. So you data entry that into TriStar, and when you go to send out a serve, it'll recommend the top 5 servers, and then you click one, and it'll automatically send them the serve, which is great. It's a great idea, great technology. It's just now kind of outdated. So that's where the rate sheet became a popular term. Is you would send like, yeah, send me a rate sheet. If you call another big process serving firm in the state, and you're like, yeah, I'm serving in this area. I was wondering if you could send me some work. Like, yeah, send me a rate sheet. So you'd have a Google Excel sheet and you'd send it to them. So he took that same concept and applied it to attorneys. You're not going to send them a rate sheet. You don't need to do that because that nickel and dime of the $5 and $10 differences is for process serving companies who are trying to make some money on your back, which is fine. But
right,
that's the
absolutely.
model. That's the model. Whereas like with attorneys, you need it to be clean, flat rates. If you are charging other amounts for different things that you're doing, it should just be very clean and concise. And that's what the new rate sheet model is that Jessica did so well. Other people have done it too, but you can actually take her Canva link. I think I've shared. I don't know if I got her permission or not. Jessica, I know she shares it.
Did you? I did share it with a couple people who
Yeah,
asked.
yeah.
It's
That's
okay.
I was just trying to remember. Did you share it? Yeah, but I do
It
remember.
took me a long time to do, and I'm happy to share it. So
Yeah, you've done a great job. And
Save some other people some time.
I saw it in my Canva. That's why I was like, why is it in my Canva? I think you might have edited it when I shared it with you or something.
Oh, maybe.
Or something. And you did it though. Like you're it looks great. Let's see. Jeff says it's great. I like add-ons. Oh yeah, add-ons. Add-ons are really good. And not to like I don't know, like I know some of you guys are kind of new and kind of just or new to the community and new to what I share, but I want to share with you really quick something that I feel like is lost on some people. Um I just want to make sure that you guys kind of understand the power of this. If you go down here to order online, you should definitely have an ability for people to order online from you. Not yet, like if you can't afford it yet, fine. Our professional, this comes with our professional plan on the Mighty process server. I mean, Mighty website builder. Um, but like Jeff was saying, add-ons. Like I took a lot of time to make sure that when someone's ordering from me, that these add-ons automatically, if I'm going to do more for you, you're going to pay for it. If you need a skip trace, um, and if you want me to, and if you're taking more of my time sooner, you're going to pay for that too, right? And if you're just somewhat reasonable about it, most people don't care, right? So as you go, some of you've seen this, I know, but let me just show you. This is a new item that I added for mine. Is because I do state nationwide. This might be something you might consider. I know Desi's gonna hate me for this, but um, it does work out better because when you say certain cities or you try to be specific about certain cities, it can really be a pain. And so being a little bit more general about city limits and letting them decide what city it is, right? So they, however they find me, no matter what form, if they found me on a, let me give you a bit, actually back up a second. If they find me at albuquerqueprocessserver.com, do you think they're assuming it's Albuquerque? Yes. If they find me at San Diego processserver.com, are they assuming San Diego? Yes. So if they say, is it in the city? But it takes them to the same form, right? So my automation and my back end systems are all the same, right? So it's 45 minutes from the city or it's somewhere in the US, it changes. So if somewhere in the US is kind of a tricky thing because I do all the major cities, but if they think it's just like so far out in the middle of nowhere and it's far from them, they're going to pay a premium for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So basically,
that form is invaluable. That actually got me some good reviews and because I had it with uh serve manager and my serve now website and people absolutely raved about it.
yeah,
It makes it a seamless process and not everyone wants to call and talk on the phone and blah
right.
blah blah. So I mean it's just
Yeah,
it's
and Serve Manager got the idea from me because I was building websites and creating online order forms, and they did it, and they ran with it for a while. He told me he got up to like 45 forms for people, which I thought it was way more, but it was only like 45 people had forms with them. And but their form is very very basic. Like their
it
form,
is.
yeah, it doesn't have like the different, I think it has a couple rate things, but yeah, they have the same concept. So you've experienced that with them a little bit.
Nothing like this. This is much more advanced.
And it's just form stack. Like if you want to go get a form stack, you're like, Mike, cool. I don't want to buy from you. Listen, you want to build your own form, you can actually go do that for I think it's like starts at like $45 a month. So you can just piece it out. That's probably what I'd oops, I'm doing the wrong thing. Yeah, so 100. So right here you got the amount per page. So for 100 extra pages, it's adding $25. In California, we advance witness fees. A lot of times we put a check on the documents to serve, like if we're serving a CHP officer, we literally put a check on it, right? So let me actually remove some of this and I want to show you the difference. If somebody sent me something that was 100 pages, it was in the city limits, okay? And it's one attachment, I upload the attachment. They want me to, let's not do skip trace. Let's do, I have an address. So they're going to put their address in here. And then you come down here to the bottom. This is the powerful thing here. Just if all you did was add this part, they have to go down here and say, no, I only want you to email it. The level of clarity that comes from this is so powerful. Like
Wow.
you're only going to get this email to you. Like, would you have any doubt? Would you think it was coming by mail? Would you
I
think it was?
always had to send a follow-up email and ask them, I only email it if you need the original, please let me know. So
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, email and USPS original affidavit to mailing address. $7. You could go lower, but I just look at it like I don't get a lot of people that ask for that. So if they do ask for it, I have to like find a stamp. I have to, but sometimes people need it. Some states require it, some states even want you to get a notary. So if they want a notary, it's right here,
Some do, yeah.
right? If they want me to e-file it, which I prefer, like in California, that's what most people do. And immediately, this is the one I'm most excited about. Immediately, they e-file. It immediately takes my cart from, what was it, 147? That's my base rate, I'm pretty sure. 147. Yeah, 147.50. That's my base fee. All the way up to $207. People complain about Stripe and PayPal fees. Your fee is covered by the customer. And most people, when they're ordering a professional service, especially if they've gotten this far in the ordering process, they're not tripping about $10. They're like, this is the cost of doing business, or this is the cost of getting it served, or whatever. And so they're going to pay. This is people who aren't your current customers. These are people who find your website, they want to order from you, or maybe they could be a customer, but they're so new, you don't want them to just email you the documents. You want to get paid up front. And taking this thing from what would this be, 172, after because I did print fees, that's why. After I did print fees, and then them choosing e-filing or something like that, taking it up to 197. Guys, taking your average cart value up from a certain percentage, like if it's $100, if you can take it up to 120, that's a 20% increase, which is crazy. Which is a crazy, over the course of an entire year, if you're getting 100,000 jobs, to take the 100,000, say you make $100,000 to keep it easy. A 20% increase is now $120,000. Like, so
Now, actually,
understand.
I think it was Tommy that was talking upselling on the forum. I think Tommy was talking about that on his
Yeah, so
review.
powerful.
Now I see what you're talking about. It really is.
So powerful. And the last thing here is I did get a few chargebacks when I first started. And then I learned, and I actually talked to the credit card companies and some of the guys, it's called arbitration. So some of the arbitrators had told me, they're like, Mike, what you need to do is you need to add very clear terms that there are no refunds. And so I added in here. So when they order, they check that they have to check that there are no refunds. That is my credit terms, right? And this is, some of this I added in because we had where I was charging $1 per year to keep their credit card on file. And whenever I would email them and say, hey, this is your monthly invoice. So let's say this customer first finds me, and it's an attorney, and they find me for the very first time, and they order from me. They put their credit card information in, right? And they order from me. Because they signed this agreement, I can charge their card any amount. I actually had one attorney who was like a business attorney reach out to me, and he's like, Mike, I can't sign this. It says he's like, it's pretty ironclad that if you charge my card, I can't contest it. Let's see, where is it at? So yeah, here we go. So send out statements each month. The payment is not received by the 15th of each month. We charge the card on file for past due balances. I don't do this anymore, the dollar charge. But I still have it in here just in case I wanted to, that they couldn't sue me for charging them $1 a year for the last 10 years or something. Um, and then most importantly, that I was missing this piece where it was like they need to confirm that it's their signature, because this is their mark, right? Because if they don't sign it, then it's not a legal document. And so you have to have the ability to sign and submit. And so I just want to go over that with you, not to sell it. You can go build it yourself. You can get it from Serve Manager, like a basic version of it from Serve Manager if you wanted. But this form has made me so much money, so much money on top of what I would get before. And you don't have to do any kind of accounts receivable where you're like trying to chase people so you can get paid, you know? Not actually, I just added it this week. Yeah. So if you need help with that, you're already a customer. You just email Desi and say, "Hey, can you add these items? I want to charge this. I want to add." You know, she'll do it for you if you're a professional or business. Now we've upgraded, so it's just professional customers who have the form. But if you're one of our customers and you've already been one of our customers and you already have a form, it's the same thing for you. Just email Desi and she'll fix it. Okay. Um, if you don't have a form at all, start working towards being able to take online payments. Like not just via PayPal, but where people can order online from you. There's no better feeling than I tell you, there's no better feeling than being able to pull up Stripe and look and see, you know, how much you've made, you know, be able to see the spikes and when you're making money and when you're getting a deposit and looking, hey, how much did I make last month versus this month? You know? Yeah.
Or how much didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Your form is now on Rocket Serve. What is that? Oh,
You know, that guy, Robert Dayton?
yes.
Yeah, your form, they jacked your form.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. Yeah, Chris spent some time with him and then now he's back with us. But yeah, you know, I don't know. Server
Yeah.
software, I don't know if I'll ever tackle server software, but there's nothing great. Serve Manager is probably the easiest to use and it integrates. And then PST, I think, is eventually going to be the best because it's getting easier to use. They have a whole thing that walks you through how to enter a new job now. And like, but, and I don't just say that because of Desi, right? Works there. But I don't know. Can I tell you guys that yet? No, not yet. Not yet. But PST is gonna blow up. PST is gonna be huge. So that's it, guys. Do you guys have anything else? I kind of was going off on the form because I think that's the most value I could give to somebody who's just coming into the community. Like this is dollars in your pocket if you do it right. And this year, that's what I want to do. I want to see each of you guys crush it. I want to see each of you and the only way I'm gonna be able to do that is to tap in with you, right? To tap in with you and be like, how are you doing? Talk to me about your business. Talk to me about what's going on with you. And the masterminds are the best place to do that. They really are. I feel
Yeah, I
like
mean, I could probably keep you here until the ball drops, but I'm not gonna do that. So
hey, listen, I'll stay until, you know, until people get what they need, you know, and get things answered. The one thing is taking action when we're off the calls. It's like, you know, making a list, checking it twice, making the calls and doing it right, like every single day. And when we're on the calls, we check in and I'll hold you accountable. Like Evan, if you wanted to, you say, I kind of did it a little bit with some of the other folks in here. It's like, if you have something you want to accomplish, tell me, be like, hey, this is what I want to accomplish by, you know, by the end of this challenge, this 40 mastermind challenge. We'll call it a 20-week challenge. What do you want to accomplish by the end of the 20 weeks? You know, you get
yeah,
some
my
attorney.
my goal is we're at the first of the year in what 10 hours or something. So uh because I do Uber and Lyft on the side, you know,
Yeah.
which is great for making contacts, by the way. But so by July, that's my 6 month goal. By July, I want to be on the map, so to speak. I want to be.
Yeah. You got it, man.
I mean, it
So
probably sounds you're like 6 months out. Why not 3? But I'm
no,
just, you know,
you set a goal. Just set a goal, whatever it is, just an achievable, actionable goal. Because you can't force people to hire you, but what you can do is you can have an actionable goal of I'm going to email a certain amount of people. Like the Be the Backup challenge, it was going to be about who makes the most calls and accountability and stuff like this. And I saw some people doing it. I looked at their forums, and I saw some people doing it not super efficient. And so, of course, Jessica, of course, would have just completely dominated that. And like, we're gonna push it off into this. We're gonna do a longer horizon, which means that everyone will get to see each other's progress if they're willing, right? I'll say, hey, can you share your screen? Do you want to talk about it? And if they're willing to, they can share it. And I think we're going to get much more out of that. Jeff?
Yeah, quick question for Evan. Evan, do you have the Google My Business listing yet in your area?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to check. Do you have any reviews on there? And if so, how many?
I have 12.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So that should keep you at least going up in the top 5 or so when people search for a process server in your neck of the woods.
Yes, sir. And as I like with Uber, like if I go over to a different county, like far away from where I am, I'll search it to see where I'm showing up, because
Gotcha.
obviously if I'm here, it's going to be number one, obviously. So
Sure,
that's something
sure.
I started doing. But I'm having a problem there because I changed my business address, which is not updated on my Google Business yet. So I got to do that. But I do have that. I have a 4.7. One person gave me a bad review, which can't please everybody, but
Yeah, don't let that discourage you in any way, shape, or form. And I just want to throw one last thing out there because I know Mike's getting ready to end this. And I put it on the chat over there that January of this year is when my website went live that Desi and Mike made with the help of Mike and his son. And it literally had a part to do with the fact that this year, 2024, we had a $40,000 increase in revenue from the year before. I use Serve Manager, that's where I get my numbers from. So that
wow,
small investment with Mike is obviously well worth it.
wow.
That's what, 40,000 difference? That's crazy. Good work,
Yeah,
Jeff. That's awesome, man.
Yes. Thank you.
shout out especially to Jeff and Jessica. They've been a huge help. I mean, everybody has, but
That's a
they,
community, man. That's a community. Like, and guess what, Evan? There will be somebody that pops into the community is says, this isn't working for me and XYZ. And you're gonna go like, oh yeah, those two things I figured out. Yeah, I know it's hard. Here you go, figure it out. Let me give you a leg up. Let me give you a hand up, whether it's the order form, your pricing sheet that Jessica helped with, right? Looking at the website, someone helps you out with the free you got the $27 version or starter package. Those were great websites. Desi designed them. I said, make them still good. She was going to do the gray ones that we've done before for real estate, and they're really basic. And I said, no, make it where they could just change the logo and it'd be like really good. And she did that. She did some really good websites that are it's in a way she was right, because you don't need to upgrade unless you want the forms or you want her to design it for you, right? Like if you want her to redesign it and do it all up with SEO and everything, it's definitely worth it. But you're good right now to get started, and that's what the starter package was meant to do, is to get you started, and you could go for a year, 2 year, however long you want, while you force appreciate this business that you're creating. And being a part of this community is a big part of that. And I love seeing people come in here. Eventually there will be a couple hundred to 300. I've seen other communities, I've been a part of them. When you truly are helped and you truly see success from being a part of a community, it just grows naturally, because people are like, I got to be a part of this.
yeah, absolutely.
So thanks for coming. Send me on school again. Those of you guys that are new or just tuning in here and there, you're gonna want to go to school, inside our school community if you're not already a member, because I did post a link on Facebook. I think everybody's in our group, but if you're not, go to mightyprocessserver.com, click on free training, and join the group for free. Inside the group, you get all the free training, you get the community, right? You can post inside the community and people will reply. Everybody's very engaging. Do you guys remember about 6 months ago, or maybe 4 months ago, I was saying that we were like number 1,200 in all of the school platform? Let me show you guys something. It's actually pretty cool. It's actually really cool. Let me show you.
We're gonna
So,
get invited.
no, because we're not charging. That's kind of what they base it on. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll get invited if I move the payment stuff for the directory to school, which I might do. But I'm not ready for that yet. I don't want to charge everyone to enter, if that makes sense. I would rather keep it where we get everybody inside the community. So if I go to settings and I go to discovery,
Nice.
243.
Wow.
Guys, we're talking about all school communities in the general category of business. That's pretty big. There's hundreds of thousands of communities, right? If you go discover communities, and I would say encourage you go ahead and look at other communities. Some of them are free, some of them cost money. Um, I wonder if there's a processor. I have never searched this. Okay, no, there's unrelated. So, okay, so 169. So anyway, it's pretty cool. I mean, let's go legal. Okay, yeah, there's a lot more. There's 157 legal ones. I don't even know if we're considered legal, to be honest with you, because it's business. Let's go legal.
How are some of those considered legal?
Right. I don't know.
Uh,
Legal services. Nothing. Nothing. That's real estate. Well, what is it?
millionaires in medicine club.
Yeah. But the school platform is kind of like Facebook, but for learning. Like it's social learning environment. And it's kind of gone viral. Like there's hundreds of thousands of communities, I believe. And let me see. Yeah, so like, and some of these are free, some of them charge a lot of money, some of them charge thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. I think the most you could charge is 1,000 for your community per month. Um, but for what we're doing right now, this is perfect, So the directory is going to continue to grow. If you guys have feedback, let me know. I did change things to red and gold for branding because it was too close to all my other companies, so I wanted to kind of differentiate it. But I love to hear you guys' feedback. I won't be offended if you tell me. You know what? Actually, I've been thinking about this. I would love to put a different member of the community up here every month, whoever the top engager was or something. Maybe that'll be the reward if you're the top engager. But it's got to be a professional photo that I could remove the background. Not necessarily professional, but like high quality photo, so I could remove the background. And I will put your face here, and I'll put a little link to your listing. Okay. I think that'd be fun, don't you guys?
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah, I
cool.
want to see Evan up there and Jeff.
Yeah. Gotta see Jessica up there too.
I'm so used to switching back out of the PI mindset because with that, I didn't want my face on anything, And I actually got busted that way one time because the lady looked me up on LinkedIn and my face was there, but I'm not used to having a video with my face on it, like putting my actual face out there. It's that's a kind of a hurdle I got to get over. So
Yeah, I don't think you'll have with what we're doing and with with your own company building a business. I mean, eventually as a PI, I did talk to so I interviewed a lot of people, right, with the Process Server Daily podcast, and a lot of the people that I talked to were had similar concerns. And I remember early on, and I'm like, because they didn't. Well, remember, Zoom wasn't even a thing before COVID. Nobody was like, let's Zoom. Right? You rarely heard about Zoom, but I used to Zoom with people all the time because Skype was terrible. I downloaded Skype; it'd make my computer slow down. I didn't have a Mac. I think Mac would have probably been better, but I had a regular Samsung, whatever. And so I started Zooming with people. I'm like, they're like, "What's Zoom?" I'm like, "It's like Skype, but easier." It'll open up in your browser and just record both of our sides, so I can edit the audio or whatever. And one person didn't show her face or whatever, and later she's like, "Can you not post our recording?" It's like you can't like you're. I'm just saying your concern is valid, Evan, but I would just say, moving forward, like for the issues, a little bit of issues you're gonna have potentially, it's not gonna even be close to the amount of wins you're gonna get from being the face of your company and leading your company and being the one that's like, you know, yes, we do PI work. Yes, we do this. I mean, look at Jeff with his fancy AI photo. he just can't make this stuff up, you know. He
I'm just used to, the PI is typically like the Navy SEAL. You send him into a town, he does the job and gets out. Nobody ever knows he was there. Most of the people you work for never see your face, so it's a little transition for me, but I don't
yeah,
have a problem with it. It's just it's a
yeah. There's a guy, one of the top investigators in Los Angeles. His name is Tim Santoni, and let's see, Santoni Investigations. Let's see.
Is he the one that has the software, PI software?
No, well, maybe he's got something like that. Here he is talking. He's got like tons of he's got a podcast. Let me see here. Investigations, background investigations. He's got a great website too. There he is right there, Tim Santoni. He's got his face on everything. And this guy interviews um his clients. He interviews lawyers about their practices and he gets to know them. It's such a genius way to do this. If you were going to be a PI, I would immediately start a podcast interviewing your ideal customers about their practice. And when I interviewed him, he's one of the guys I interviewed. He he told me that a lot of the people that he met with, they ended up hiring him, and then eventually this city of Los Angeles made him like um, the main PI for all of their stuff. Like one of the stories he told me was like him and he was partnered up with Los Angeles Primary Crimes Unit or whatever to bust people with drugs. He was still just a private PI. And I'm like, because he was using technology and stuff that they didn't have or know how to use. And so he was able to get these. And I just, after interviewing him, I was like, man, if you're going to be a PI, this is the way to do it, you know? So just as far as your face is concerned, I mean, do you think that this guy is worried about showing his face as a PI? Look at his website. I mean, his other website obviously doesn't show but his personal, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, I appreciate the honesty and stuff. I know when I first started out, I kind of not as a PI, but as a process server, and I did some PI stuff. You don't want people to recognize you maybe, but I will say most people won't. If you know as being a PI that you get a picture of somebody when you see them in person, they never look like their picture, right? And half the time after you serve them or do whatever you got to do with them, you're not going to remember them. Like they're out of your mind. Like, you know, you just flush it out, info you don't need. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Normally look Valencia or something,
Yeah.
filters.
Well, thanks, Tommy. Appreciate you. Oh, looks like you already. Yeah. Well, cool, guys. Listen, I won't keep you anymore. Happy New Year. I'm excited for this year. Lots of really cool things to come. Jeff, if I can get that remedy to come off the bottom of that picture, I'm gonna put you up there.
Yeah, you can edit it.
Yeah, this is you at what, last year?
Oh, my wife made that up last. My wife made that up. That's nothing real about it.
Looks like you just went to Hawaii or something for a month.
I just thought it was you, like,
Looks nice.
20 years ago or something.
But it is on all my Google and all my, it is on all of my public sites.
Yeah.
I don't mind having my picture out there.
So once they once they see you, they're like, "Nice to meet you, sir. Is your son gonna be here soon?" Which actually makes sense because your son's taking over, right?
Yeah, his face is on the front page of the website with the video.
There you go. You guys did a video.
Yeah, Desi put it up 9 months ago.
That's about right timing for me. I'll
Yeah.
go check it out. Yeah,
All
and
right.
I'll put you up there. You guys have a happy new year. Does anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I can say as being a Uber driver for over 10 years now in my city, if you do decide to have fun, just give us a call because March of this year, I got hit head on by a drunk driver. She blew a .18. So just be safe out there. If you're going to be out, I don't want to see anybody, it's just so easy. A $20 trip home versus, everyone just be safe. That's all I was saying. Have a good time.
Yeah, you be safe out there too, Evan, driving around the crazies.
Well, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. It's I've only been part of this community for the last 2 months, and let me tell you, after doing this for almost 15 years, these last 2 months have definitely been eye-opening and appreciative of everybody's advice and feedback. Jessica has been awesome. I mean, I feel like I should start paying her a salary with all the stuff and advice she gives me. But and Mike, I just want to say thanks again for putting this together and putting us all in touch with each other. And yeah, some more in 2025.
Amen,
Love it.
Sean.
Love it, Sean. Good stuff. And Jacob, thank you, buddy. I know we didn't hear from you really today. You're out on the road. Jacob's been probably my longest friend here, especially online. He's a rocket courier out of San Antonio, Texas. How you doing, bud?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know if you can hear me, but we had a little plumbing issue, and my dad came over this morning to help me out with it. I'm no plumber by any means, but we got it taken care of. And then my son asked me to help him out with his he used some Christmas money and bought some parts for his mini bike. So I got roped into that, and I said, well, let me just plug in on the ear and listen in because I didn't want to miss you guys. And yeah, it's great to be back, Mike, and every guys. Just, I mean, I can't say it enough, man. I mean, I'm not a fanboy or anything like that, but I'm just saying, Mike is legit, man. Like he definitely has done everything he told me he would many years ago
Yeah.
when we met,
Hey,
and
Roger,
continues to deliver. You know,
Roger
just
Courier
continues to
also has
deliver.
a solid reputation. I'm in South Carolina, and I even know that name.
I
So
appreciate that, Evan. It's
you're
great to
definitely doing
connect with
something
you
right.
guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, and you know, the key is you know, we used to say automation domination was the thing Mike would always say, and you know, everything that he's talked about today, right? Like automating your website, being able to take payments online, like that's where I'm moving back towards again because I had removed some of that stuff when I wasn't in the business for a little while. And but that's the key is, you know, automate as much as possible so you can just continue doing other tasks and other things and focus on money making activities, you know. But I'm excited to be here with all of you guys, everybody here. Everybody that jumps on these calls is just so motivated, and it's great to be a part of it.
Yes,
I
sir.
love it. Love it. Jessica.
Oh, I just want to say I made it to 10K again this month. Last month was my first month, and then I thought it was a fluke, but it wasn't. So we'll see if I get a third one.
Nice, nice. Let's go.
Jessica, what are you doing? Or you just go around smiling at all the attorneys in the courthouse?
Oh, I don't, you know, I only have like 2 clients, so they're all one-off, like
Wow, that's
Google.
great.
And that's all you need. You get a good Google My Business listing, a couple of attorneys to kind of help pay the bill, kind of help keep the lights on. They give you regular work. And I mean, you get one collection client, it's probably the worst thing for you because like if you get them right away, because not going to get all this where you learn to get that 70%. I'm just going to start calling them the 70%. It's not based on any actual statistics, but this is what I feel like it is. It's like you get the 30% of your customers give you all like 70% of your work, right? But then there's that other 70% that make it an actual business, you know? It's that those people who almost never get a serve, and when they do, they don't mind paying $100, $200, $300 for it. Jessica's like, you're
I'm
ready to
getting
start.
tickled, sorry.
You're ready to start this new year, man. I'm excited for you guys. And anyway, you get $10,000 a month. That's, you know what? That's why I did the challenge, because I said, you know what? Most people I talk to don't make $10,000 a month. But if you could do it as a process server, you could actually live and pay your bills. And I remember when I was able to first break that, and it was a really good feeling because I was able to easily pay my bills, have money left over, and that's the American dream.
Absolutely.
So,
How
thank you
many
guys.
months in, Jessica?
I started here in July. I had 11 Google reviews when I started, I think, and now I have 40. So,
That's awesome. That's
Girl,
awesome.
she's
Great work,
crushing.
man.
Sean,
Congratulations.
Mr. Sean, you got some.
Hey, Mike, can I ask one question though? So, I mean, we can discuss this on a different mastermind, but I just wanted to know what everybody is doing as far as like health insurance. How are they affording health insurance, or what are they using? I mean, I was just curious. We can do that on a different mastermind. I don't want to bring up a whole new topic now.
I take vitamin pack every day.
An
I'm just
apple a day.
kidding.
An apple a day keeps it up. No, when you have real medical, you have real medical things. Like I just had my arm busted right here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but right here there's a gap. The bicep got broke
A
on the
gun
way.
show.
Yeah. Well, I've been working out, and I can flex it a little bit, but it's nowhere close to what it used to be.
Let's go.
I broke the muscle from the bone. Anyways, you gotta have health insurance when you hit 40. You start getting older, you have to start thinking about this stuff. And so Blue Cross Blue Shield, I just started learning about this, so I'm curious to know what other people, if you have something, I'd love to hear about it. But I looked up the standard stuff, and Blue Cross Blue Shield has something that they have, and it's like a $470 a month. It might have like no copays, and I have a network of people like in the area because I'm near Albuquerque, so it's a big network of people. So pretty much I can get anything that I need for very low copays. And one guy said it perfectly though when I was like 27, 28, and I went into one of these places, and I said, should I even get health insurance? And he's like, no, not really. I'm like, really? You're selling it. You're telling me not to get it? He goes, unless you have a house that you're going to lose because something happened, you got cancer, and now they're taking your house, or some other money that you have sitting around somewhere, then don't worry about it. Just because they're still going to help you at the hospital. We're in America. Okay. And they're not going to be able to take your house because you don't have one. So once you get to a point where you have something to lose, you got to have health insurance, right? Because if something happens, you're going to need it. So anybody else have a comment on that? Oh yeah. Yeah. Having a spouse that has work is almost exclusively the plan for most people. It's the only reason I'm looking for a wife, to be honest. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. Yeah, cool. No other comments on it. All right. Well, you guys, great question. We can dive into that more. As a matter of fact, Sean, if you find something and you want to bring it to us, we're not big enough for a network yet, but I've heard that if you get a couple hundred people who all are willing to pay into a network, that could be in our future. 100%.
Check
I
out
think
Stride too. Stride is a good one.
Stride.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll check that. I'll check it out too. Yeah, any way I can do so, like Aflac, I got that too because it was like so cheap, like $25 a month, and if I lose a finger, they're gonna give me 10 grand. Like, man, you never know. I lose a finger doing something, You lose an arm, it's like 100 grand. You lose an arm, So
I'm on the VA health plan, which is Veterans Affairs, not virtual assistant.
yeah, VA. Yeah, I was saying earlier, my brother-in-law works for the VA hospital. He was in the Navy for a long time, and you know, apparently it's really good now. VA used to have a bad name. I don't
Oh,
know.
you took the words right out of my mouth when I first started going there back in 2007. Terrible place. Terrible place. Now it it's completely different.
I
Completely
think they
different.
got their funding they needed back a few years ago. That's what it
Well,
was.
they I don't know what they did, but whatever they did, it's night and day. I mean, it's
Yeah, my brother-in-law, they don't shake a stick at pay now. Like if he wants a raise, they're like, all right, here you go. He's like,
they're seeing like 70-year-old men come in there that are missing limbs and stuff like that. But now the more common injury is TBI, PTSD. So they weren't really respecting you. They're looking at this 30-year-old guy that's in the VA like they would literally say like, "What are you doing here?"
yeah,
Uh, so they
yeah.
don't do that anymore. So anyway, side.
Yeah, understanding the mental side of things is something our society's only just catching up with, unfortunately.
I would have rather had an arm blown off, honestly, but
Yeah,
yeah, Stride
yeah.
is
Well, stay
Stride is
strong.
one that Stride is one that they recommend. They post a lot for gig workers like Uber drivers and stuff. And
Okay,
they have some pretty affordable stuff. Check them
that's
out.
cool. Yeah, and there's also I'll plug BetterHelp. You know, BetterHelp.com. Of course, they did a heavy marketing thing a while back, and I haven't seen them much since. But yeah, we'll see you, Jeff. Thank
All
you
right,
for
thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
We'll
Happy
see
New
you
Year.
guys. But yeah, BetterHelp, Evan, if you ever need counseling or anything like that, I've used them a couple times when I got divorced and I didn't have my kids for like 6 months. I did it, and it's real people, and you talk it out, and they help you get, this is what I hear you saying, and they give me feedback, and I was just like, okay, so what I was thinking was the right thing. They're like, yeah, it just gives you it's like such a healing thing, maybe mentally. It feels like right here, but it's mental healing.
Yeah, because versus whereas a lot of people hear you, they actually listen.
Yeah, they listen.
Yeah.
And when you're friends, you get friends that have agenda. Not that they're trying to hurt you, but they want you something for you. They want you to do something, and they want you to change in some way, or they don't want you to change. So they're telling you something. But these people are strictly paid to just be a professional listener and give professional feedback. So love it. Good guys. Well, hey, go out there. I'm gonna barbecue. I bought $500 worth of fireworks. My neighbors are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna midnight. I'm just gonna do. There's these big giant circle things, and they have like cannons in them, and they just light it once, and it just do. And I got like 12 of those, so it's gonna be crazy. It's
I'm
gonna be
gonna,
fun.
I'm gonna go out there and make sure everyone gets to where they need to go safely and
Good work.
make some money on top of that. So
Good work, Evan. Well, thank you guys. Take care. Be safe, and as always, live mighty.
good to see everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.